morning, all my crafty friends. NanaKaye here with NanaKayeDesigns.com and the Altered Book Nook. We have had a request for a complete showing of breaking down an altered book. We just did a series of a new twist on all the book pages, and I didn't, in the first video, I did not go through starting with a completely blank journal, or not journal, excuse me, completely blank book, and showing you how to tear, how to count and tear. That is very important, so we're going to do that. I'm starting with a Reader's Digest. You can use any size book that you like. The method's the same, but first thing I do is I check my books thoroughly, or try to. Now, I do have some books that it doesn't matter what I do, I'm not going to be able to salvage them. And those, I just rip the pages out completely, just by ripping here and pulling out the whole chunk and just using the hard covers. This book looks like it's in reasonable condition, and it can look that way, but when you start tearing, you lose some integrity in the spine. So, but for now, I'm saying we're going to be starting with a very good book. I really like the feel of this book. Our goal is to teach you to get the book to this point. And what I mean by this point is where you've pulled out enough pages to reduce the size of your book so that you can add stuff in and not have gator mouth. That's my goal. Always my goal. Sometimes I get busy and start getting gator mouth and find out I have to do a little bit of things differently. But anyway, let's get started showing you how to take the book from start to finish. It may be a long video. I may try to speed it up. I have to admit that I'm not learned how to speed my video up in my editing, but I will learn eventually. But anyway, let's get started this morning. And I think it was, not sure if it was Debbie and Brenda who requested this, but anyway, guys, this is what I do to get my books to where I can get to my 3 designs of how I do things. Okay, first of all, check everything in the book and make sure the integrity is what you want. And this still looks good. All this looks good. Now, to save integrity in your book, you do not want to rip out at the very beginning of the book. So I always count 1, 2, counting this flap, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I usually count 5. If my 4th and 5th one looks like this, I don't want to save those because I have no way of getting rid of this blue except to paint the page or something. So I will start this book with 3 counts. And honestly, most of your Reader's Digest are going to be that way. The first thing I do is just kind of pull, because there's always a little bit of gluing right there. I pull it kind of taut, make sure it's going to lay over like I want it to do. You want your pages to lay over. You start working with your binding, your right there, your binder, the binding part you want to be fully opened. And I pull out 1, and as close in this line as I can. Now that messed up right there by the way I pulled it. All right, so 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? Now, tools you're going to need. Your hands, of course. And we're going to need, let me see if I can find my little plier things. And that's going to make me ill because I had it yesterday. There they are on the other desk. Give me just a second, guys. Not prepared as I thought it was. You're going to need a pair of little, something like this, or a pair of tweezers would work probably even better. A little pair of tweezers. Okay. Now, what I try to do is I still want some stuff in the center here because this is keeping your binding tight here. But I don't want this much of all that stuff in there. So I'm going to come in with my tweezers and I'm going to pull it and keep it kind of taut in there. And if your hands do better, because these, I can tell these are some little pages, so this is an old book. Let's see what year this book is, just out of curiosity. This book is, let me see my date, 1979. So that goes. All right, now my goal is not to have a lot of bulk here. And what I mean by bulk, when you look in your book top, you see these little excess lines right here. This is excess bulk. So when we pull it, we can see it right there. I hope you can see that little, that little bit of bulk right there. Now this is where the tweezers come in handy for me. I just grab that and pull just a tiny bit, not completely out, just that tiny bit, so that when you close the book back up, that piece of bulk right there is gone. So I hope you're following me so far. You'll get the hang as we're going on. It's too early in this book for me to tell if there was a lot of bulk right there, so we're going to go on. Okay, you tore out 5 pages. Now for me, I get interruptions constantly, so when I'm tearing a book, I lay my first 5 pages in a pile. When I know I've got 5, I set my pile aside to another pile so that I know I've got this one done. I go 2 pages, 1 and 2. And I'll explain to you why you have to go 2 later. So just mark my words, you have to go 1, 2. No more, no less. You don't need any more, you don't need any less. Go 1 and 2. That's imperative. Then tear out your 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do as much as you clean up with your hands as you can. We'll come back with everything else later and worry about it, but just clean out what you can. Like I say, you want a little bit to stay in there because you're kind of keep your binding, the original binding, intact. So you do want some of it to stay in there. But that sticking way out will show when you glue your pages together or you glue your pockets, you just don't want a lot of that bulk. I love it when I can clean it completely out and really wouldn't even have to glue pages, but I haven't quite got that good yet. All right, so that's got it. All right, 5 pages. You've got your 5 pages, so you set these aside now so you know you've done them. So you know your next step is 1 and 2. All right, you've got 1 and 2. Again, kind of stretch your book a little. Make sure you're getting that gap open. And that's important, so when you're tearing, you're getting a good tear. Okay, so we're going to start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you will start getting a feel for this as you go along. It takes time to get a feel for if the pages are pulling well. I've learned that I usually can start at the top and then just kind of grab it closer to the binding here, I shouldn't have done that. So that was the 6th one. But just when you start going there, I learned that you can pull it out. And yes, it doesn't matter. Every once in a while, you're going to have more than 5, and I'll show you the situations. Like, I just goofed. It's not going to hurt anything to have 6. Okay, and I think I've got that cleared out in that center as much as it's going to let me. This book's going to be a little more stubborn. I wish it wasn't, because I really wanted a really easy book for you guys to first go round. But anyway, we've got a little bit of a mess there, and I can tell there's a lot of extra right there. So I am going in with and I'm going to clean that right there at that edge. Clean that little piece out right there, pull it out so that I don't have a big gap right at the beginning. And now I can tell there's a little bit on that first one we're done, and I'm pulling it out. And practice makes perfect, guys. You're not going to do your first one really perfect, so I'm telling you, don't fret. That's good. So far, so good. So far, we're getting a nice clean edge here. And that's what we're after. Nice clean edge all the way up to the ribbon or the cloth part of the binding. Okay? All right, let's get back to where we were. We pull out 1, 2 more pages that we don't pull out. stretch the book, push the book, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, so we know we've done 5 again. Move the papers out of the way. Everything looks fair. I do have a little bit of bulk here. I'm going to go ahead and pull it out. And you can also do that at the very end of the book if you wish to pull the bulk out. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I've come to a place here where I want to decide, do I want to pull extra out? I don't. And the reason I'm not pulling extra out here is because I still have a nice wide paper, natural paper rim there. No problem. So now we're at the 1, 2. So we count 1, 2, over. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do suggest that when you first start doing this, you're making sure you've got quiet time. People aren't interrupting you so you don't get lost. But like I say, the little time it takes just to pull those papers and put them aside lets you know. Now you see how big that was, that much gap in there, and I pulled it out, and I think I've got one little tiny piece left, and that cleaned out that one. I didn't clean out the one before, so I'm going to go back and clean it. And like I say, this is something you can do at the end if you prefer. You don't have to do it right now. But I'm just going along, just showing y'all the technique. Nice, clean. I see a little bit there. And you'll start understanding what I'm talking about when you start closing your book. And if that little bit of bulk does not bother you, then you don't have to clean it out. If it doesn't bother you when you start making your books, if that doesn't bother you, and you understand when we start gluing these together to make pockets and things, what I'm talking about. But you don't necessarily have to do that if you don't want to. I mean, it is an altered book, so you're not going to get as perfected as it looked when it was not an altered book. All right, so that's that. All right, again, we just finished our 5. We've got a little bit of excess in there, but we can come back later and clean it and gut it a lot. 1, 2, and then I'm going again. I was hoping to come across one of those situations where you had to carry out extra, but I haven't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For the sake of the video, I'm not going to pull out anything. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know you're getting bored right this minute, but just bear with me because we're probably going to come across something that you don't need to see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're coming to a new... Now, here's exactly where I wanted to come to, guys. Okay, now, in the Reader's Digest, and you're not going to run across this, but most likely in anything but the Reader's Digest on a real regular basis. Other books, you'll run into situations like this, but, you know, these are pretty dependable on the Reader's Digest that you're going to run into this. Now, I am cleaning out some of this bulk. It is horrendous the way I tore that because I tore it so fast, trying to be fast with the video, but that's okay. We're going to snap those out real quick. And I'm going to show you where you're going to run into a situation that you're going to need to pull out more than 5 pages. And we are there. I am coming to the end of one book inside the Reader's Digest, one novel, and to the next story that they have published in this particular book. All right? And when you flip the 6th page, you've got all the color all the way up, which is not going to work for my books. It might work for yours. But I never bring my pages quite to the top. I always leave a little bit of my edge showing. If you don't, if you're going to put your pages in completely, that's fine. But, and this might work because this piece could be glued together like this. and you wouldn't see it. But I'm going to just tell you, in this particular situation, I go ahead and pull out these 2 pages. So that made 6 and 7 pages instead of 5. Not going to hurt a thing, guys. I promise you, it's not hurting a thing. But when you start getting over 5 pages, you start getting a little too much bulk in the center here. So we do not want to do that very often. But for the most part, that's good. I do know people that pull out 8 and 10 pages, and to me, it doesn't work for me. I'm not saying you can't do it. You can experiment any way you want, especially if you need to thin the book out a whole lot more. But I just don't see how it is holding the things together like I want it to do. It doesn't work for me. That's all I'm saying. So my preference is 5 pages. All right, now we're going to go on 1, 2, because we did our 7. So that's where we are, 1, 2. We're going to put these aside. And that's how you're going to do all this book here, all the way through, till you get just about, say, 10 or 15 pages to the back. Then what I want you to do, matter of fact, I'm going to cut it off. I'm going to cut the video off here and finish the book. That's the smartest thing to do. Unless I run across something unique, I will start the back. But I'm going to pause it and finish tearing up to where I need you to get to your next step, guys, because this is very important. Okay, here's another one. This is my 5th page. I just tore out my 5th page on this set here. And I come across another one of those solid pages. Doesn't work for me, so I am actually going to pull out 6 here and then do my 2. Just so you're aware that those do come periodically through your Reader's Digest. So then it's not going to hurt to pull out that 1 extra page. And then you do 1, 2 and start again. So I'm going to get back off for a minute. Okay, guys, we're to this point where I told you I wanted to get to the very back of the book. This book has been a real struggle for me. It's left a lot of trash, so it's going to be a lot of cleanup. But, hey, it's kind of a good thing because everything is not always that easy to do. So you have to learn how to handle things when you come across books that's a little more stubborn. These pages are extremely brittle, so this book has been in the heat somewhere a lot. I told you to get close to the back because you have to kind of change your course of action a little bit. Okay, so I have just torn my 5 out here, and I'm going to do my flip 1, 2. I don't like this right here. So that's my 1. That's my, let me look good. Let me go back and look again. That's my 1, my 2. This is my 1, my 2. And I don't like these 2 pages. So we'll do something I don't normally do. I am going to go ahead and tear out a 6, a 7th, and an 8th page here and hope that I haven't gone too far on the back of the book to do this, okay? Then we're going to go 1, 2, and then I'm going to go count again. Just count, don't tear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and see how many pages I got left after that. So I've only got 1, 2, 3. So we're not going to tear this out. We're going to go from the back here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, and we're going to tear out 1. Yeah, it's going to work out perfect, I think. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it did work out. It worked out perfect on this book. It doesn't always do that. Let me make sure we got 2 here still. 1, 2. 1, 2, and tear out that one. Well, we could just stop it at this. Just give me a second. Let me think. If I do 1, 2, that's perfect. Then we can tear that 5th one out right there. Okay, so now the book's prepped because it's just like the front. At the back, you want to leave some of the pages in the binding right here kind of intact. So there is our book. Now we've torn out. We got bulk here we need to clean up and here we need to clean up. We're going to work on that. Right quick on this video. It's a little boring, but it's a necessary evil. So I'm going to start opening my book to where every 2 were. This little gap right here. I'm going to kind of put my hands in that front till I see this little excess here. This is where I tell y'all tweezers would work better, and I can't find my tweezers. But I pulled the gap out in the back excess out there. I'm going to look at my bottom, and if there's any in the bottom, the same spot, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to clean it out the best I can so that I don't have bulk up to that tape. I'm going to try to pull it out. Okay? Back over. Go over our two. Look at this again. And pull it out. You don't have to pull all of it out. Just right there at the end. Just kind of snip it out. Be careful not to tear your pages. And I'm going to have a little problem with this book because, like I say, it's very dry. And so if you've got a very dry book, you're going to have to be very gentle. Don't use scissors. Don't use anything like that. Because these tear the pages bad enough by popping into them. But I'm just trying to get that excess out of that. Just out the corner. It doesn't matter beyond that. Because we're going to do away with the rest of that. But just going in there and just trying to grab that that's right there up to that tape or to that cloth lining there. That's what I'm after. That's what I'm after. If you can see it, it's right there. Just gently go in and just snip it out. That's all you got to do. Try to keep your pages intact. Try not to let it rip your pages down there. Push it from the back here with your thumb, right where you're wanting to push. That helps sometimes, but if you've got a very brittle tape on the outside, you start breaking that too, so you've got to be careful. It's easier just to cover these up than it is to replace that binding totally, so be very careful, guys. That's your step there. We're going to clean out, clean out, clean out, and if you've got any major excess in this gutter, it's a good idea just to snap it out like so. Just snap out the real excess. It doesn't have to be all of it. Like I say, you want some of it there intact. But like I say, again, my pages are very brittle in this book. So I am trying to be a little more cautious than I normally am. Because it seems like if I even hardly touch a page, it wants to tear. So I've got a good book here to really show you how to avoid issues. So sometimes it's better to have a book that's not perfect when I'm showing you how to do this because you get to see the hard part first. And then when you get the easy books, it's like, oh, yeah, that was fun. Okay, so that's what we're doing now. We are cleaning out the gutter of any large pieces. And we're cleaning out the ends right up to the cloth. It's a little cloth wrap. I don't know what the term is. I really guess I need to learn. If I'm going to alter books, I need to learn the terms, don't I? But that's what we're doing. So go ahead and get your book finished. Clean all that out. And then I'm going to, the rest of this video, I'm going to show you what to do when you've got to this step. I don't have this book completely done either. So I'm going to cut the video off a minute and use another book that I'm going to be using for my Shield Tranquility. And I'm going to show you what has to be done. So give me just a minute. Let me clean out my gutters. Okay, guys, I've got the book cleaned out. I've got all my little nicks in here. Excuse me. Let me get that right where you see it. I got all the nicks cleaned out. We're really thin here. Now, the next thing you need to decide is how you want to design your book. I have 3 ways I design, and I'm going to go over them right now with you. Okay, one way is I open my book, and I decide how I want my pockets and things aligned. If I want the new twist journal pages like we just went over, I come in here and I start looking at ways I can fold the papers to make pockets and things. And it has to be where this piece here, where the gutted out piece is going to be enclosed in whatever you're doing. Because what you're attempting to do here, excuse my hoarseness, what you're attempting to do here is hide that area there. You don't want those torn edges to show when you're working on your journal. Okay? And so you're going to go in, and that's what you're going to do, is make your folds and your pockets and things and hide those things. Another way you can do it is you can come in and at every 2 If you want to just do pocket inserts and all, you come every 2 places that you had the gutted area out, and you just glue these 2 together and make a large pocket. I'll show you a journal that has it done that way. This journal here simply was done where every of the 2 pages that were counted out were glued together, made a large pocket here, as you see, just made a large pocket. She glued both of them together along the sides and kind of tied along that bottom. Then she made a large journaling card, added a dingle-dangle, and she put this in. Now, a friend of mine made this book, and I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite journals. It is just cute and sassy. Real simple altered book here. Lots of places you can put this kind of pockets and flip outs in. She has lots of these in here. So you still can do all your little extra things here. But these are all glued together at every 2. Okay? So let me show you that again. You go look at your book. This was your first 2. You'll just glue them along the side, and you want to come all the way to there with the glue to try to make it tight so you don't have that gap. That was the reason for pulling out all that excess. So you want every 2 glued. Okay, another way you can do the book. This is how I am starting to do my books. So this is new to some of you guys because this is NanaKaye's way. Let me see if I can find, just give me a second and let me see if I can find a journal page that is already kind of cut small. Give me a second, guys. All right, there's one. Here's a journal page. Okay. Say you're going to use a printed kit. All right. You can take a printed kit, and mine came out smaller than my book, so I'm not liking this one, but on the last book that we just did, I showed you how I added the lace at the top and bottom to make it work out, so it's not impossible. But what I do is I go in and I cut those 2 into what I'm just calling glue tabs. Every 2. This is the center. You see the gutted out line? And what I will do at that point is I will come in with my journal pages that I'm going to insert, and I will sandwich it in between those 2, and I will glue them down. I will glue it down in there. Okay, and I will, since this page is smaller, try to make sure it's centered. Glue both sides down, and then you've added the book, you've added your pages in, and you'll start working your book that way. So I'm going to open this one, and I'm going to show you. Then you can do a combination, okay? But let me show you. Let's do a combination book of all 3 of my techniques, okay? That should be fun to do. Let's prep this one. Let me see if this one is ready to go. Yep, this one's the one that's ready to go. Okay, let's open it up and find our first 2 pages that we tore stuff between right here. Okay, so that's our first 2. Let's say we just want to make this a standard large pocket here. So you'll need your glue right here. You can use stick glue too, and I'll tell you why. If you have a good stick glue, I've got to find my small one. I don't want my big bulky one. But if you've got a good stick glue, okay, especially when you've got really thin pages like this, it might be a good idea to have a scrap piece of paper, glue paper. Old book page will work as long as it's larger. Put that behind it so you're not getting anything on here. And come down your edge with your glue stick. The reason I like the glue stick is because the glue stick does not seem to wrinkle these fragile pages like this. So I just come down this edge, making sure I get all the way up to the top. Just do a nice little line. Doesn't have to be the whole width of the stick. And then I hold them up straight so that they're meaty. You got to remember you pulled out some pages, so they're not going to line up if you got them turned one way or the other. So I move them until I've got them lined up like they should look. And I take my finger and I press all the way to the edge, making sure everything's lined up as good as possible. You may still have a little bit of a gap there, guys. Okay, so now that's our first one. We've got it lined up. We've got a page. We're going to let it dry. We're going to take our trusty little circle punch, and we're going to come in here. For me, I don't know the exact center point, and I'm meticulous that way, and I cannot help myself. I don't want the terrible. Well, I do want the terrible ones in a minute. I want to find my center point. So centimeters, it's 18.5. So it's going to be 9.25. It's going to be my center mark, which is right there. Put me just a little mark to tell me that's my center mark. Then I'm going to come in and do my thumb notch. So that'll tell me that this page is completed. I want a little deeper thumb notch than that. I'm sorry, I want it deeper. Because the sandpaper didn't like that. But that's not a problem. You just come in and you finish cutting it with your scissors. And I'm not real steady today, guys. I'm still having to take medicine for this virus I have. Okay. Alright, so that's the way you can do every single one of those if you wish. Or we're going to give it some variety here. So we've got our next 2 pages. Make sure that gap looks good. Now you see, you really don't see any gap between it. So that's a really good looking page. So let's say the next 2 we want to make into, we want to insert one of our digital pages that we're going to do. So what I do at this point is I take my ruler, my tear ruler, and I decide what kind of tear line I want. And I lay it right against, I lay it this way, right against the words. See the words right there? I hope I'm getting this good. I'm going to look at my camera. Okay, yeah, I'm good. I put it right there and I hold it tight, guys. If you don't, it'll slip. And start tearing those 2 pages. There's one. Readjust it because you know it's going to move a little on you. Readjust it. You don't want wording on your strip if possible, and tear it. So now I have got my attachments for my pages. So that would be my next one. Okay? And I think I'm going to do 2 of those. So guys, I'm deciding as I go along how I want to do it. So I don't want that black line in, so I'm going to put it right up against it, tear it. And that actually got some wording. So when you get one like that, well, it's okay. We're going to go back and fix it. But when I get them like that, I'm just funny that way. I don't like it. So I just go in and I just snip those letters off. But we'll do that later. When we get ready to attach it, we'll come in and snip those lettering off. You see, I just don't like that lettering on there. So that's what I'm going to go in and do. So for the prep, when I get this part done, we'll go in and take care of this problem. Now, if it's on this inside part, it doesn't matter. All right, but we're going to do 2 of those. We've got to do the 2 because there's your gutter line. You want to hide that. So I ripped out 1. Now I'm going to rip out number 2, trying to get rid of the lettering. There it is. And that one moves a little short, but it still doesn't matter. As long as it catches, it's fine. All right? So now we've got 2 strips that are available for us to insert our pages in. So we got one that'll fit there, and you got one that'll fit there. Okay? That one did get a little short, so do be careful when you're tearing it. Don't let it slip. That's still good enough. You've still got enough tack in there. It's not going to hurt a thing. Okay? But that's what you're after. So there's 2 pages attached. Now, let's see. I don't like this being showing that much. So I'm not sure I want it as a pocket. All right, this is our next gully line. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and do one more tear. Okay, every so often, just kind of open your book up a little more if you can. making sure you've got enough space. This is just something that it takes a lot of practice, but you'll get the hang of it. Kind of look and see. Matter of fact, let's do it on the worded side. That way we're sure we get the wording out. So I'm going to open it and do it this way. And make sure I got the wording torn off. That works. Oh, no. Yeah, that worked. There it is. And then we're going to do one more. So now I have three of the inserts in here. I'll have 3 inserts in here. That looks like it's going to tear about right. If it doesn't, we'll clean it up. But there it is. There's my tear strips. Okay, so 3 pages will go here. Now, let's say we want to do one of our other type of pockets with this next page. So what you can do at this point is, let's do a big corner. Yeah, let's do a big corner fold. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to have my last page here will be an insert like this. If you're looking at it, it's going to be an insert sitting here. So that's the page before. Let's just say that we are actually that far along. Okay. Now, this is planning, guys. You got to plan your books out. Then you go in and start putting all the extra additions. But this planning stage is important to your book. I always plan my books. All right. So at this point, now this is my next page. Now, do I want my pocket to be facing this? Or do I want my pocket to be facing whatever I do beyond this? That's the question. I personally think I want a pocket on the side. So what I'm going to do is go just about to my border, not all the way. You don't want bulk here, so you stay away from that center there. Stay away from it. Do not add bulk. And folding will add bulk. So what I'm doing now is I'm making me my pocket. I'm going to have a large corner pocket here, or I have the option of a double pocket. But we'll go through that later. Let's just do the large pocket. Let's just make it easy for you. So we're going to glue. First thing, going to take our glue board. And we're going to glue this down. And you can use your larger glue stick for this if you want to. But since we pulled the small out, we're going to use it. And I do use quite a bit, because I don't want these to open up later. So once I've got that lined up like I want it, I glue that down. So that's glued down now. And then we've got to hide the torn area. So move the glue board to the back of that. And what you're going to do is come along this edge and this edge all the way to that center. Seal it and make your pocket. Okay, so you're getting to see a new book. We're doing all 3 of my techniques into one book, and I think it's kind of cool. And you guys are getting to do it along with me. So this was nice being able to show you. Okay, so that's one of the pockets we used in the new twist. Okay, well, we've done all different types of pockets. Now, let's go on. So we seem to have a theme going here, so we're going to stick with it. Our next 3, now this is something you got to watch out for. It will do this until it dries. So just don't let that startle you right this second. Just kind of, eventually you'll keep doing like this until you get it to start rolling the way you want it to roll in your book. Don't sweat that. Don't sweat the little stuff. And if there's any edges here you don't like, you can always come in very cautiously with your scissors. And I can't see very well today, so I'm not so sure that I should be doing it, but you can clip that off. Doesn't hurt a thing, okay? All right, so just keep letting that dry, and keep every once in a while you can work with it a little. But that's a nice pocket right there. Oh, but it's not staying down. Don't know if my glue's a little humid today. I'm telling you not sweating here. I am worried about it. Okay. But I do want it to glue. And if it's not gluing, we're going to have to add, I don't know why it didn't glue. It might be something about the texture paper, but I may have to go in just with my Berry Arts. I can always depend on that to glue it tight. And I'm going to go all the way down since it doesn't seem to be holding. And I'm going to go double check that other pocket, guys, so bear with me. I don't have control of the glue, so let's just pull it back up and even it out on the 2 pages. You are going to get a little bit of more wrinkling with it, with the wet glue, but if it's not holding, it's not any good. Let me double check this. So that one held. I don't know what happened there, so we won't sweat it. Maybe I just didn't let it dry. Okay, so I said we had a pattern. So we had a pocket, 3 insert areas, and don't worry that they're not the same height, guys. That's not going to matter. You can go in and adjust those. If you need to cut it smaller, you can. I'm not sure I could rip it anymore, but you could do it again. I don't know. Let's just experiment and see. If you don't like it that big, you could go in. And I have tried doing 2 pages at a time. Doesn't work for me. I find that it works worse if I try to do 2 at a time. And I don't seem to be able to get my fingers in to do it this way. So I think I'm better off just actually, ooh, don't tear it out of the book. This is bad because this is really fragile papers. And it's trying to tear from the center. But anyway, there we go. I'm starting to tear it. If it's bothering you really bad, how much difference are in the 2, you can go back in and tear it this way. But you lose some of that balance that you had in the tear. So that's up to you. I find the easiest way for me to level these out is just to go in and snip out the little excess. Because I tore that one way too much. Be careful with these fragile pages. Don't worry about it, guys. Nothing that washi tape won't fix. But like I say, that's the way I handle those wordings. Okay, let's go on. You got the idea. 3 there and another pocket. So we're going to do 3 again. And we're going to try to make sure we don't have wording on it. But if we do, we're not going to sweat the little stuff. So that's 1. You got the tears in there. So you know you're working right. And 2. So now you've got your tab. All right, let's do number 2. We want 2 tabs, 3 tabs. We want 3 tabs to glue to. 1 and 2. And then we want another one. And because it's that picture, we're going to go on this side and tear it, guys. I just find it helps me make sure I got no wording. 1 and then 2. So that makes us have 3. And this wording, for some reason, is way further over. So you're not going to get as big a tab. That's okay. We're going to still work with it. Okay, so now you got 3 again. Now we're to what we're going to call another pocket page or whatever we're going to do unique here. So for me, I want another pocket. And what do I want? We done that other one, and it faced. All right, so again, let me give you an example. This is what's going to be sitting here. A printed journal, digital journal page is going to be sitting here. So we need to decide what we want to do with this one. So what I think I'm going to do here is make just a simple, I'm going to flip this one over like this, and I'm just going to make a half pocket here. So this will be like a belly band. So I'm going right, not all the way to the center. Keep away from the center. Remember that. The bulk in this center is your key to, if you want an alligator mouth, bulk that center up. That's what I'm trying to say. If you don't want an alligator mouth, stay away from that center. Okay, for this pocket, I'm going to do this number here. All right, we're still deciding what our book's going to look like. I'm going to try this again to see. I have my own curiosity if I just didn't put enough. And I think that's what it was, though. I don't think I put near enough on there. Okay, this also helps you when you've got a pocket. Well, I normally come in with a strip of paper to make my pocket stronger. This turnover helps give you strength in that pocket right there. Okay, and then we're going to go back onto this side put the paper here. Well, no, let's leave it here and let's just glue it on the piece that we're folding over. And let's do it a little heavier this time. Make sure that we've got a good strong amount of glue on there. So I'm really thinking that's all our problem was a while ago. I don't think I had enough glue on it. Okay? Then you're going to glue that down. All right? Okay. So now, smoothing tool. Oh, guys, I don't know if any of you know Miss E. Scrapbooking with me. She has lost her Facebook page twice in a week. And they are trying to fight with Facebook to find out why. Because, you know, Miss E, if you watch her videos, Miss E does a lot with her Facebook. And she does a lot of her advertising on Facebook. And I'm really concerned because I lost account with Facebook. Excuse me, let me have a swallow of my drink. I lost my page with Facebook last week also. I've had it 15, 20 years. Let me see, I've been on my job almost 20 years, and I know I had Facebook when I first started my job. So it's been 15, 20 years, and I lost my page. No explanation except they said I had something on an Instagram account that was attached to my Facebook. And if you do advertising with Facebook, they automatically attach your direct Instagram. But somebody had hacked my site and attached their Instagram account to my Facebook page and advertised something on Instagram that was a major violation. And instead of Facebook having the courtesy to give me a chance to see if that was my Instagram account, to ask me any questions, they asked me nothing, sent me a letter, told me they were getting ready to suspend my account permanently, and they didn't give me an option to address the issue whatsoever, and they've taken down my account with all my memories of 20 years, all my advertising, everything that I had built up for my business on Facebook. So keep Miss E in your prayers, and as soon as she goes back up, it's called Scrapbooking with Me, join her site again, and let's help her build right back up as rapidly as possible. Miss E is like me. She's an elderly woman, and now she's a widow. I'm blessed so far, and I'm not a widow, but I am nearly 70 years old. I think Miss E and I are somewhere close in age. And I think it's very heart-wrenching that these organizations are being allowed to do this to people. They build the social media accounts, let them build businesses with these accounts, and then rather than making it easy for you to get with customer service, they have little to no customer service. So I'm just saying that. I just thought about her, and I just want you guys to kind of think about subscribing with her and giving her a note when she gets back on. And that's all I know is Edith Ray is her name. And if she gets back on Facebook, I will probably do a video and tell you she's back up and encourage you to go with her. But this hacking mess is getting ridiculous. And I don't know if there's ever going to be an end to it. But the only alternative I just see is that these companies, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, for instance, Etsy, for instance, they all need to make customer service a little better. If you're going to rake in the dollars, and I'm talking billions of dollars, if you're going to rake that kind of money in off of small businesses like us, especially elderly who are depending on this retirement income to supplement our pitiful Social Security checks, they need to make customer service a little easier for people to get to. So just keep Miss Ray and your thoughts, and keep me in your thoughts, because like I say, I lost mine too, although I had not built a lot of business on Facebook. But I can guarantee Facebook one thing: I will never buy another ad from them as long as I live. So they've lost my ad business. Okay, let's see. I think my little page here isn't as tight right there as I want it, but I got it. I closed it. That's what I want you to make sure now. You see a little gap right there? I don't know if you can see it. I can see it. But I'm taking my fingernails and I'm going in and I'm pressing it together all the way to that fabric binding so that I've got a completely closed book. And that's what I want. I don't want any little bubbly looking openings there. And if I didn't have enough glue on it catch it, I would have gone in with my little skinny tip and put a little in. So that's where we are. So the theme again, pocket, 3 strip inserts, a pocket, 3 strip inserts, and another type of pocket. So let's move on. One more, and I'm going to do one more type of pocket in this book, let you see it, and then we will, maybe 2 more. I got 2 more. We'll do 2 more. One more here. We're going to go, how many strips did I say, guys? Can you remember? We're going to, it's actually 6 torn pages, but 3 actual inserts. So that's 1 and 2. So that's your first one. Make sure that's a gap to make sure that you are still tearing the right pages. So that's my first insert. Open the book a little more again. And it does take a little bit of hand strength, not a lot, but a little bit. 1 and 2. So there's my second strip. And once you get to doing this and you're not talking like I'm having to do and stop and start, it just gets rhythmatic and you zip through these preps like Mephier, honestly. That's 1. And here is number 2. Let's make sure we got a gap there, some stripping, so that's what we want to cover. And 2. All right, so there's my 3 inserts. Now we're going to do our page like we want to do it. Now, this one's going to be a little different. A lot of fun. In fact, I got two different types I want to do. Okay, let's do this one this way. Okay, I want to just fold this side down just a tiny bit. Or you can do this side, either one you want. Depends on what you want. I want this facing my decorative page that I'm going to be adding. So I'm going to come in with my glue, and I'm going, well, let's fold it first. I'm going to fold it right about there. No set amount, guys. This is strictly up to you. My goal here is to make sure I've got enough room that you can see that there's something to pull out right here, okay? So we're just going to do a tiny fold over, not a lot, mind you, and it can even be smaller. It doesn't even have to be that large. I wouldn't go much larger than that, but it can be smaller, okay? All right, glue stick, come on. Let's give it an ample amount all the way around. Yeah, that was what was wrong when I go with my glue gun. I just didn't put enough on. So be aware of that. Okay, I'm going to put this on, make sure it's lining up here tightly. Go down, make sure it's lining up there, and press down. All right, so that gives me that little extra bulk I need right there at the pocket. I've got it down tight. Now, what I want is a double pocket here. So I'm going to come into my middle, and we know it's right about here because there's where my other one was. So right about here, I'll put me just a pencil mark on the inside. Put my guard back in. It's right there. And I'm just going to come from the back to the front, the width of my glue stick, my small one. Okay? Then I'm going to turn this around like this before I even glue it down. And I'm going to measure inches or centimeters. It looks like it's about 3.5. Oh, so 2 and 2 would be 4. So I'm going to say it's not 4 inches. It's going to come to right about there. So it's 3.5. So I might be better off with centimeters. Okay, 8.5 will be 4.25. So about right there is my center of this one. Get another one and see if it's about the same. 3.5. Let's go back to space, Karen. 8.5 is again about, no, it's a little bit less than 8. It's 8.25. So I'm going to say right about here is my center. I'm just having to eyeball it, guys. I can't quite seem to get my measures there. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and do my thumb notches. I might have to re-wet because I took too much time on that one. but approximately, let's get in there, approximately there, and approximately there. There's my thumb notches, and press it down. Okay. Okay, so I have to do this eggs now, and I should have done that before I closed it. Oh gosh. All right, that's kind enough. It's going to let me get back open. Lord have mercy. See, I wouldn't even pay attention much to it. If I just did it on my own, I'd have just corrected it. But when you're on video, you realize, oops, you goofed. All right, hey, it's a process. Getting it down that thing so that I can get my glue in there without hitting my other page is also a process. Okay, a lot of glue, especially right at the edge. I really don't want that much. Really didn't want it that wide. I don't want my pocket that narrow. I really don't want it that narrow. Now, I've been better off to use my other glue here because I don't want the pocket that narrow. But now my pocket's only going to be about that. Whatever fits in there is going to be small. But we've got some remedies for that, so don't fret. Don't think I'm crazy yet. Hey, I am though. But okay, again, I want to look at my gap here and make sure I'm closed all the way to my fabric. And my two fingernails are, I use my fingernails, guys. Some people may not have them, but that's what my fingernails are. It's my excess here. My excess tool, my number one tool. A lot of people say, what is your number one favorite tool? My fingers. Honestly, I kid you not. I use them more than I use any other tool. Okay, so I think we've got that done. Give it a few minutes and let's make sure it's going to cold. All right. Now, when you do a pocket like this and you get ready to put a card in it and it's not open as much as you want, you can go in, but you got to be very careful, guys. Especially when these pages are fragile like this. We're going to have to go in with the fairy arts. And just make sure you just don't press too hard or switch that edge of that blade around, because you will actually ruin your page if you're not careful. I'm just adding a little protection, extra oomph here, guys. I should have done that. That's okay. I'm going to cover it. All right, so let's try that again. And let's see if we can get it to work. I really want it to work. Add the caps. Down to the center. Let me look at it. And you see, all right, you see that rolling, that little bit of rolling right there? That is what we do not want. Press it down. And if you don't do it while you're going along, your paper's going to dry. You want to do it while the glue is wet. So this part of your prep is vitally important, guys, if you want a good, clean edge. And some of you may not care that this edge up top is nice and clean. I am just meticulous that way. I want it to be a nice, altered look here. All right, so there we go. There's another dual pocket page. And we will just cover all this up with pieces from whatever kit we decide. And we are going to be using Teal Tranquility. I do have a burgundy Tranquility that will work with it. I have blue Tranquility kits, all in NanaKaye Designs, that will work with this book that we're working on, guys. So if you want to follow along and you want to buy one of my kits to follow along with, all those kits will easily match up with the videos that we're getting ready to do on this book. All right, let's go and do, I think I'm going to skip the trip 3 pages maybe. Let's see, we've got 3, 6, 9. We've got 9. Really, that makes 18 pages that we've done so far. That's pretty much of a kit. All right, let's go and, excuse me, work on opening the book a little. All right. Let's stick with the theme. Come on, Karen. Stick with the theme. All right. at least do at least one tear out page. Hold it tight, rip. Hold it tight, rip. So there's one page we've got done on that one. There's one insert. Do another insert. This is fun. I like doing this with you guys. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. I know it's a little boring for some of you guys that already know how to do this, but I have you that didn't know how. And you know what? I have to stop what I'm doing when somebody doesn't know how, because my videos are no good to them if they don't know how to do the initial prep. That's number 2. And we're going on insert number 3. Sticking with our theme. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. Inserts again. We're back to another pocket page. Let's do a dual pocket on this side a different way. We're going to come in again, and down in this area we're going to slide our glue protector page so we can protect our little insert flaps or tabs. All right, and I'm going to just eyeball it by coming in here like this, and I'm going to line this one up here and line this one up here. No set way. You can come all the way to the point if you want. I don't like a total point. I like to keep a little bit at the top, so I line it up like that. And I'm lining it right under that writing there to kind of keep it straight. Okay. And I'm making flaps. And we're going to do a dual pocket here. Back in with our glue. This gives you the strength, again, you need when you're pulling stuff in and out of the pocket. So there, it gives that strength from the edge. And it also gives you the shape of your pocket. Okay? And we're going to glue it down the center. And I am going to take my Berry Arts glue this time. We're not going to even mess with that. Glue it right down the center here. And right up this edge here. Let's pull that down a little more. You want everything closed nicely. And around this edge here. Okay. Okay, flip it over. And we make sure you're closed all the way up to the edge. Any seepage coming out, guys, make sure you wipe it off. You don't want to glue it to the next page. The best thing to do at this point then is to make sure you're not got seepage coming out, and to just wipe it really good till your fingers don't feel any wetness. Okay? Okay. Guys, I do not most of the time glue when I'm doing like this. I've stopped gluing down in here. For some reason it makes an issue for me. If I keep my tears strong, I don't lose my binding strength, and I don't glue down in that area. I'll leave that open. Okay, so again, I'm making sure I don't have that bubble there. I don't have that bubble there. I got some seepage coming out though, so I want to wipe it off. Okay, and there we go. So now we got a dual pocket here. One more. Let's do one more, guys. I know the video is already an hour long, but let's just get it where we understand everything we're doing. And then if you can come up with some other pocket shapes, or you can go look at some of them, because I've got pockets where I folded this side. I tore my page in half. I fold this side down, and I fold this side down a little further, and I get a different level pocket. There's a lot you can do, but I'm just giving you the basic pockets that I work with. So that was the dual pocket. Now we're going to go 3 more inserts, like our standard bin, like I'm keeping a pattern. So this is insert number 1. This is insert number 2. And this is insert number 3. I got to get busy on my teal packet so I can adjust it, because I'm going to make my pages larger. That's number 3. We're getting some wrinkling here. I'm going to go in and take a look at it and see if I can strengthen that up. I got to roll it some. I don't want to make it just completely flip. I want to roll it a little, but I want to roll it back this way. And that's where I'm having my problem. So just, it doesn't want to turn this way, so I'm rolling it a little. Okay, see? Getting a little wrinkling, but guys, that's going to happen. I don't care how cautious you are. You're going to get a little wrinkling because you have taken bulk out. So there, that goes. Just kind of try to ignore that for now, because when we cover it with another journal page, all right, I'm not happy with it rolling on me like that, but we're going to try it again. All right, let's do it. Let's re-wet it and Now, if that wrinkle bothers you, understand this. That's not going to show. For one thing, we're most likely going to stain these edges. And number two, one of the pieces of the digital pages are going to actually fit on this whole page here. So I'm not worried about that little bit of a wrinkle. I'm not that finicky. All right, going on. Last idea for me is to do where this is our center, come in to the edge here. Not to the center, guys. Remember what I said about bulk in the center. Don't want bulk in the center. Hold this one about the same place on the side here. And what we're doing here is we're actually just making a trifold page. That's going to be your pocket. Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. Starting to feel a little rough right now. So I'm going to have to probably end this video for a while. But I think this gives you your prep. I would go out after watching this video. As a matter of fact, it wouldn't be a bad idea to keep it handy. Go back over it 1 or 2 times. Grab you 2 or 3 books. Especially when you're first starting out, maybe grab a book or 2 that if you totally mess it up, you don't worry about it. And let me explain something else to you. You are going to start tearing books that are not going to tear and be able to be used as an altered book. That is just facts of the game here. That's just part of the process of altering books. You're not going to be able to alter every book. Something's going to go wrong, and it's just not going to work out for you. Don't fret. The book is not wasted at all. Number one, all the pages you're tearing out are going to be used at some point in time. If you watch the videos much, you will see people using these papers as pockets and envelopes and all kinds of things. Rip them and tear them and use them in your stacks and different things that you're going to learn. Especially if you're new here, you're going to learn these things as you go along. But it's not wasted, because if you get to tearing a book out and it's just not working with the system that you're doing, you can always take all this bulk out and use your covers. Your covers, this material is expensive to purchase to make covers, so you will always be able to use your covers in some shape or form. Even if your whole spine here is totally cracked. See how cracked that spine is? Even if it's cracked like that, you're going to be able to take that off, put a new spine on, and you're going to be able to use this book base. You'll be able to stitch through and add signatures to this. So don't throw them away if you mess your book up. But I would just get a few books out and start practicing this technique if you like it. If you really like the technique and you want to try it. I have decided that my niche is the altered books. It's what I love to do. I've tried Angela Kerr's way. I've looked at everybody's way. But this is NanaKaye's way. Is just the way that works for me. So I am enjoying doing altered books. I enjoy doing the Reader Digest size. Most of my digitals are done 2 ways. I do 2 different size digitals all the time. One is an altered book digital, and one is the digital designer, there's the other designer journal way. So there's two ways. So you'll have an Ultrabook way from me always, and a designer journal always. A designer journal, again, is a name I've come up with to rename those journals that we are printing the kits and putting together. Angela Kerr does designer journals. That means she makes the journals from digital prints and works them from using the digital prints. That's a designer journal. The others are junk journals, which can be an Ultrabook junk journal, which is using just junk, so you don't have to use printed pages in that, or my Ultrabook way. So there's lots of people out there doing different things, but I have decided this is my niche. So we have done a little bit of hourly. It's been over an hour and 10 or 15 minutes, guys, and I'm sorry it's so long, but this was important. Like I said, I didn't realize that I had not shown all you guys how to do it my way, and like the song goes, I did it my way. Well, this is NanaKaye's way, and I hope that you've gotten some inspiration from this. If you're new to my channel, please like and subscribe. Go to NanaKaye Designs and at least look and visit and join there. I don't charge for membership. There's no monthly fee or anything to be on here to get my messages and things. I do not bombard you with messages, I promise you that. But to know how to get in touch with you if there's something I want to, and sometimes periodically people make comments on my videos, and I would like to send them something, a special gift of some sort, which was usually a digital download of some sort. If you're registered on my NanaKaye Designs site with your email, I can send you freebies every now and then. I have a coffee site, which is listed in my description. Also, I have a Facebook page. Please be careful what you post on my Facebook page. Please, please, please. No political posts on my NanaKaye and Friends page. I'm asking you this. If you post political, I am going to ban you, because I feel sure that's what's happening with some of our Facebook pages, is if we post something that Zimmerman is against, zip, you're off. No, nothing, okay? So no political, guys. No sexual content. No, just strictly things that you're doing with journals on NanaKaye Designs on Facebook. I have Instagram. I'm not using it because I'm not sure how it got hacked before, so we're not going to use Instagram. And Twitter, or X. I like to call it X. I like X, and I use that site. So all those sites you can find me. Coffee has Free Digitals periodically up there already. So if you've not been to the coffee site / NanaKaye Designs, go to ko-fycoffee.com, NanaKaye Designs, and you'll find me there. I think I've posted one, maybe two freebies there. I will do some more. I am trying to fight this flu that I've had, and my last test come back that I had COVID and the flu, so it had been a real touch and go, but they put me on a new drug, hopefully, because I have asthma, that's going to help me fight it. But I'm better, guys, and I thank you that you're sticking with me, even though I sound like a bullfrog right now. My head's all clogged up, and I sound crazy, but anyway, I'm doing better. Thanks for supporting NanaKaye. Please like and subscribe. Watch the video all the way to the end. Always make a comment if you will. I love to respond to my comments. Share on other sites if you're allowed to do so. Share my videos. If you know other people wanting to know how to make, how to prep the altered books, be sure to share me. And be sure that I do look at all your subscribers, and if I haven't subscribed to one of the subscribers you subscribe to and I like the content I see, I go in and subscribe. So that's another way you can help people on YouTube. If you've got people you subscribe to, go to their page and then look at who they subscribe to. And if you haven't subscribed to somebody, that's the way you find new content constantly on Facebook, and at the same time you're helping new people here who may not have their 100 subscribers, the 1,000 subscribers or the 500 subscribers, whatever the goal is. But go there. Be kind. It doesn't hurt you a bit to subscribe. You're not going to be bombarded with anything just by subscribing. If anything, it will just give you new content at all times. If you decide you don't like something, you can always just click a button and unsubscribe. It's not hard to do. So NanaKaye saying, have a beautiful rest of your Monday. I will probably do another video tomorrow. So until then, I'm saying bye-bye. Have a great, great, wonderful day with many blessings. Bye-bye.